Campus NFL preview video. We're here with our partner in crime, Donnie Rightside, breaking down an NFL Week 5 matchup for tonight, Thursday, October 3rd, 2019. Rams headed on the road, take on the Seattle Seahawks up in Seattle. We'll break it down for you in just a second. Donnie Rightside back with me. This is your third game you're going over with us this week. We advise all of you, make sure you go check out the other two videos, Colts Chiefs, Cowboys Packers. Donnie, how you doing?
Yeah, doing good. By the way, you bring up the other videos, Jeff. What was these topics we were talking about with these Indianapolis Colts? Seeing if they're going to get T.Y. Hilton back, seeing if they're going to get Darius Leonard back. Both appeared on the practice field today, so things are looking up there for those Colts.
Yeah, looking forward to that. It's big getting some of those guys back, and I think it will be big headed into Sunday. Let's get into tonight's matchup, Donnie. Rams currently a 1.5-point underdog on the road up at Seattle. Total here is at 49, up from 48 last week. A week to forget for the LA Rams. They are not destroyed per se score-wise, but they couldn't stop anybody last week. Was that just an anomaly? Was it one of those bad performances? Now, before we get into this game, what were your thoughts on that game? Was that just a one-off bad performance, or these chronic issues that seem to plague the LA Rams? They have these games 2 or 3 times a year where they just can't stop anybody.
It's funny you say that, because when you take a look at the first 3 games, because even the first game, let's just say 30-27, the win that they did get over the Carolina Panthers on the road, which was a nice victory. And even in that one, Christian McCaffrey scores late in that ball game to make the game a little bit closer than technically what it was. But they played good, decent defense in that game. Then you go and look and get the New Orleans squad that does get a quarterback hurt, Drew Brees, in that football game. Teddy Bridgewater comes in. They only give up 9 points. Then they go across to Cleveland, across the country, give up 13 points. And we saw, Jeff, Cleveland the following week posting a 40 spot against the Baltimore Ravens. And then last week you scratch your head and think, wait a second. Now, I know there were some defensive touchdowns in this game. We get that. But 55 points is outrageous for a defense with that much talent.
It really is. I mean, this is ugly stuff. But we also look at the Seattle Seahawks. They go on. They get a nice, easy victory down in Arizona. Pretty much held the Cardinals at bay pretty much all day. But we all know what Seattle does. They're pretty good against the run. Have always been very good against the run. Defensively, though, the secondary is not what it once was. There's no Richard Sherman or Earl Thomas or Cam Chancellor back there anymore. The question I have, first of all, with the Rams is there going to be more balance with this offense? Jared Goff threw the ball 68 times last week. That's amazing. That is a lot of passes. Jared Goff looked lost in the pocket at times, didn't want to get rid of the football. Just a weird performance. They were able to put points on the board just because it turned into a shootout. You have to figure, though, Donnie, Todd Gurley, who you look at in his season so far, hasn't had a great Todd Gurley season, but if you look at in his career, even without Sean McVay, before Sean McVay, since he started in the NFL, he's had a great career against the Seattle Seahawks. He's averaging over 100 total yards per game against Seattle. He's averaging more than a touchdown every game he plays Seattle. So you have to figure, Donnie, even with the good run defense, you've got to be willing to go back to Gurley here, make this offense a little bit more seesawish, not so much where the seesaw's totally one side. You can't be so much on one and then none on the other. How do you approach this game? What are you looking at here? What do you like?
Yeah, it's a pretty good point you bring up there, Todd Gurley. I wish we could have the 2017-2018 pre-week 13 last year, Todd Gurley, the most dominating player in football. That's what he got paid for. We're not seeing that out of him now. Something is amiss with the guy's knee. Last week, Jeff, in the Tampa Bay game, only getting, 5 running opportunities in a football game that, look, it wasn't a blowout the entire game, and he's your best offensive weapon. And now we say, all right, well, if he does have a little bit of a bulky knee, Jeff, the Thursday night football game creeps in. Now he plays on Sunday. He's got to turn around and play on Thursday. It's on the road. You don't get much recuperation time. You're going back on turf. How many carries are we legitimately going to see tonight out of Todd Gurley? That's going to be a major question mark. But also let's think about, the crowd in Seattle that always does play a little bit of a part. But the one thing I do want to look at, Jeff, is one of those underlying factors, because some people can only look at the stats. What the computer sheet's going to spit out and say, all right, this is the type of defense that Seattle has. But when we look at it, Jeff, they really have only faced one bona fide starter in the NFL, and that was Andy Dalton. Look, you can get on Andy Dalton all you want. He's 7, 8, 9 years in the league and has played decent football at times, has led his team to the playoffs. That first game, Jeff, they give up 395 yards in the air at home opening week. And then you see the following weeks, you only get what, maybe a quarter out of Ben Roethlisberger. You go right to Mason Rudolph, who wasn't prepared to be the starter that week. He plays at least 3/4. Then what do we get? The New Orleans game, Jeff. They actually get Teddy Bridgewater as opposed to Drew Brees. And then take a look at last week with Arizona. You get a rookie head football coach and a rookie quarterback on a bad football team. Now you're not getting that. Say what you want about Jared Goff. Say about the situations where he's leaving a lot of plays on the field, but he is a bona fide NFL starter with a legitimate offense around him. That could play a key part tonight.
Yeah, this is a fascinating game because you look at Goff last week, and I made my feelings known on Goff basically the entire game. He was lost in the pocket, I think. But you're right with the Seattle Seahawks really haven't faced that top tier offense, that top tier team that can really move the ball downfield. And as we know with the Rams, they can do that. I think they're going to be able to move the ball. It's really an outlier on this defense. Can they get some stops when it matters most? At the end of the day, Donnie, I'm going to go here and look towards the Seahawks in this game. Probably not going to play it, but again, I like what they do at home. I think they can really kind of suit what the Rams want to do. I think the Rams are going to want to try to get back to the run a little bit. I think the defense is actually going to come to play in this game when it really matters most, and I just really don't have a lot of reason to think, Donnie, that the Rams can get stops here. They really just haven't shown it that much, at least recently. It's a tough game for me. It's not a game I'll be betting on, but I know you always have great opinions on the NFL. Do you go with the under here? Unders in the on the Sunday or Thursday night games have always been pretty profitable. You've also talked about not betting road teams on Thursday night. What are you thinking?
Yeah, could this be the year that maybe that Thursday night trend sort of shifts a little bit to the road team to try to make up some of that damage over the past 10 years that the home teams have continued to roll? But I'm not going to go against that tonight. I think Seattle's going to be the play for me. -1.5 tonight in this football game. It's Russell Wilson at home. The crowd's going to be a huge advantage. 4 days. I don't know what Todd Gurley I'm going to get. There's a lot of stuff that has to be left up in the air. But you know what's the shame of it all, Jeff? If we didn't have Thursday night football, if this game was put on Sunday and you hung a 49.5 on this game, I'm going over all day long. Two teams rested and ready. Both quarterbacks can put up points. Defenses that have shown that if you play competent football on your side, the opposite side being the offense, you can put up points against. It's hard to go against those overs and take the overs. Now you can say, hey, Donnie, Jeff, what about last week with the Green Bay Packers? I mean, yes, you have Carson Wentz and, one of the best Hall of Fame or one of the best quarterbacks of all time, Aaron Rodgers, going up against each other. You don't really have that in this one for an aerial assault. I would lean just because that Thursday night under, the 49.5, I don't think the teams are going to be too, overly whelming and you have that extra time to prepare. But I do like the Seattle Seahawks tonight, and I'll lean on the Seattle Seahawks tonight -1.5, Jeff.
The Seahawks team, as we know as well, like to kind of keep the ball in the other team's hands. Very slow, methodical offense that I think is going to hurt this total a little bit. I don't know. I kind of like the under if I had to play something. Kind of lean Seahawks as well. Maybe a 24, 21 type of game, something like that. I think they do a pretty nice job defensively here. I'll lean with the best player on the field in Russell Wilson. I'll agree with you. Lean Seahawks -1.5 here. As always, Donnie, thank you for doing this. We always appreciate your NFL opinions, all the opinions you give here on the channel. You can find Donnie on Twitter @RightsFVB. Donnie, your NFL plays are in full effect. You're doing a nice job winning season so far. How many plays do you have out this week already?
Got one already out this week. And again, Jeff, got a little bit of CLV, as we like to say, on that play. But the only thing that matters is we punch it home a victory. Looking at a couple more this week. And I got to tell you, it's always fun coming on, Jeff. You do college football, soccer, whatever comes around, NFL. It's a great channel to preview it on. Always happy to be on with the big man at campus.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, Donnie. Good work with all the content you're doing. I want to let everyone know, if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like all the shows, support all the shows, tell your friends. The easiest way to grow a channel is word of mouth, as they say. Donnie, you and I don't get much promotion. We do all of our own. This is where you find the good sports information. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss videos down the road. Donnie, going with the Seattle Seahawks, the free pick winner here tonight against the LA Rams Thursday Night Football. Everyone have a great night. Thanks for watching.